You are listening to Beyond the Wheel, a podcast about the people and ideas that drive the RV community forward.
This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety, so go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.
Whether your adventure is on the road, on the water, or off the grid, Battleborn batteries keep you out there longer.
With the complexity of all the systems in an RV, I always say it's not if something's going to break, but a matter of when is something going to break. That is why I think an extended warranty for RVs is so important. We first interviewed wholesale warranties back in 2019 and immediately became impressed with how their policies worked, such as you can take your RV to any licensed repair shop, including mobile repairs. They also have personalized service plans, making sure you are getting the right policy for your needs. And if you think your RV is too old for a policy, you might be surprised to hear that RVs up to 20 years old can still be approved for a policy. That is more age lenient than most RV parks I've stayed at. Go to wholesalewarranties.com/Beyond the Wheel or click the link down below in our show notes to get your free quote today. Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Driver's Edition. Today, Sean and I have an update on the podcast awards, the People's Choice Awards. We're also going to be talking about a new app from Escapees and what's involved in it. We're going to be speaking about a real estate entrepreneur who is recently investing in RV storage, and we're going to tell you why. Spartan just released a new chassis. Lazy Days declined a takeover, and Coleman introduces a new smart control center. All of that on this episode of Driver's Edition. So let's get this started. Sean, how you doing today?
Recovering from COVID.
Oh, man.
But I did just take a nice trip down to Camp Margaritaville in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and it has made my new number one campground. It was amazing. They have, I think it's around 175 spots. They're all back in, they're all paved, they're super long, like we could fit our Arctic Fox in our truck, all, right behind the other one in the spot. It was a big spot, nice dog park for Toby, 24-hour check-in.
That's nice.
Somebody's at the check-in spot 24 hours. They have a pool with a water slide, a hot tub, a lazy river, restaurant, bar, a game room with some great arcade games. So they actually have two bars, and they have a snack bar and a restaurant. Geez, what else did they have? Bowling, lots of activities. Like I went into, it's right next to Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and I went in there one day with Julie. There was one trail that Toby could hike on, so we took him on that trail, and then the other days I stayed at the campground and just had a good time there. I mean, there's so much to do. They have planned activities, right on the edge of Pigeon Forge, on the edge closest to the national park. And the Wi-Fi there was the most amazing Wi-Fi of any campground. I mean, the download speeds and upload speeds were better than my house internet, and it was all Wi-Fi. And then really for those people that don't have an RV, you can go stay there or if you have family that wants to come visit you while you're in your RV, they have a hotel there as well. So it was just a great time.
It sounds like it's actually a true resort. A lot of campgrounds will say that they're like an RV resort, and then you get there and maybe they have a pool. And that's about it. But they still classify themselves as a resort. I don't think I've ever stayed at a campground that had a lazy river.
Yeah, it had just opened this past weekend. While we were there, we went and floated around the lazy river for probably 45 minutes.
And I know I talked to you one day that you said that you even did like a breakfast buffet, so that you have like food available for all three meals.
Yeah, with the breakfast buffet, I think I was telling Julie that the breakfast buffet, I think every RV park should have that, because it is just, you just walk over, pay your money, and have your coffee and eat. And they had, it wasn't like like some hotel breakfast buffets. They have like some muffins and maybe some toast and stuff. This was like a full-on buffet. French toast, pancakes, fruit, muffins, eggs, bacon, sausage, biscuits and
wow.
gravy. I mean, it was loaded, hash browns. So it's really good. I mean, I really had a good time there. It's definitely my favorite RV park now.
Really nice vacation spot then, because I know like Sabrina and I most of the time make all of our meals in the RV and stuff like that. But when you're on vacation, it's nice to be able to. I think that's a big deal. I think having 3 meals available right there on the property that you don't have to make yourself puts you in a vacation mode all in itself.
Yeah. And they had live music. It was really, really impressive park.
The campground itself is new. I know you said that the lazy river just opened, but the campground itself isn't that old either. I don't think.
It opened last fall, I think. So fall of 2021.
So it's just coming up on a year. So it's
Yeah.
new, and that's Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Margaritaville campground. You were saying that the Jimmy Buffett himself, actually, his business owns the campground.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. Is there other Margaritaville campgrounds? Do you
There's
know?
one in Florida, I think.
Okay, all right. I know I like the music, the Margaritaville music. So
And they
does
have great margaritas.
does it have like I think of Margaritaville and Jimmy Buffett as being very I don't know, tropical. I guess so, because you just said that they had a margarita. Is that like the theming behind the campground?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
very cool. So you could just go to that campground and that could be a vacation. Like
I think so, yeah.
it's with a bowling alley and pool and lazy river and yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to put it on my list of places to visit. And Sabrina and I actually really like Tennessee too. We've been to Tennessee a couple times, and just the state of Tennessee itself has a lot of cool things to see if you do want to leave the campground.
Yeah. And when Julie was hiking out in the national park, she saw a bear, all kinds of wildlife. And it's a big national park too. And there was no entrance fees to get into the park. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
That's uncommon, though, right? Why wouldn't
Yeah.
there be?
I don't know.
Ah, interesting. You stayed for 4 or 5 days. You were there, I think.
4 days. Yeah.
4 days.
Yep.
All right. And you'll be back, it sounds like.
Definitely. Now, the one complaint people will have, I'm sure, is that it's kind of expensive to stay there, but
Hmm.
you get what you pay for, I think, in this case.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the fact that everything is available right there, having those amenities is not cheap to run or maintain,
Right.
and the staff. Yeah, you're getting more than just a site. You're getting more than just a campsite, it sounds like. And you know what? Something that it's probably easily overlooked, like you said, that the site was long, where you could fit your truck and your RV. I know for Sabrina and I, that's always a big deal. Like we like being able to park our car
Yeah.
right in the same spot as our motorhome. Like we tow our car. It's nice to be able to fit our motor or to fit both of them on the property. So if we do want to leave, the car's not out in some parking lot or something like that. Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna put it on our list. I think I've already put it on the list, but
Yeah, it was really
check
cool.
it out.
I really enjoyed it there. Besides being sick, I had a good time.
It's a good place to recover.
Yeah, for sure.
And you do sound better today than the last time I talked to you. So hopefully you are around the corner or over the hill, whatever the terminology would be, and then now you're kind of over it, I guess.
Yeah, I hope so too. So the staff there was really friendly as well. I think that I'm not sure that they have work campers. Everybody kind of had that Tennessee accent, so I
Oh,
think they might be local people that work there, but super friendly and like I said, staff available 24 hours a day. So
it's cool that there was somebody, so you could check in at any time. There were no after hour check. Like somebody was always there to check you in.
yep.
I like that too.
Yep.
What do you remember? What check in and check out times were?
I don't remember the check-in time, but check-out is noon.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's late. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they want us out of places by 11. So noon is nice that you can actually enjoy, go down and get another buffet breakfast before
Yeah.
you leave and everything before you pack up and
Yeah.
head out. So that's cool. Oh, that's
Yeah.
very cool.
And it was
Yeah.
pretty full too, so I don't know how their reservations go, but it was pretty full
And it's open all year?
all year round. Yeah.
Okay.
But the pool, I guess the pool and the lazy river close sometime in November, I guess,
Okay.
when the weather gets too cold, I guess.
But then you still have like the indoor bowling and
Yeah, so
arcade.
all the
and
indoor stuff and the pickleball courts and volley. They have volleyball.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff there.
And then the restaurant, did you have like indoor outdoor seating for like dinner and stuff like that?
Yep. Yep.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I really think just having so you and it's one of your favorite campgrounds too, like that KOA in Tucson. That has the restaurant. I think having a restaurant on a campground needs to become more popular. Sabrina and I really like just being able to not have to get in the car, just walking over to the restaurant. A lot of times we just do takeout and then we bring it back and eat it at our site, or you have the option of sitting there and eating. I really like having the food option right on the campground.
Yeah, and they even had like also separate is they had like just a little coffee shop where you could go in and get
Oh,
like coffee and pastries, and they would even put in you could have some alcohol in your coffee if you wanted.
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
now it's really feeling like vacation.
But the thing that sold me on this campground, the thing that put it over the top for me was the Wi-Fi. I don't know what they're doing that other campgrounds can't do, but the Wi-Fi there is amazing.
I'd be curious to find out what they're doing about the Wi-Fi, like how they're beaming it, not only getting it in, but spreading it across the campground where everybody's having fast speeds. Be nice to be able maybe to get them on the show. Actually, maybe they could let us in on the secret of how they're able to broadcast Wi-Fi and use that faster than home, so it's
Faster
fast.
than home, yeah. Yeah, I screenshotted it. I don't know if I can find one that quick, but it was, oh yeah, I had a 167 download and 89 upload.
That's incredible.
Yeah, Wi-Fi.
So it's not like you're plugged into a cable at the park, like no cable going into your RV or something like that. That's just over the air Wi-Fi.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. Julie must have liked that too for her Instagram. She could post things quickly and.
Well, I uploaded a video in like quick, one of
Nice.
our videos, and it was super quick.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're doing that. I'm glad that not only do they have all the amenities, but that Wi-Fi, because so many more people are working from the road. And I just saw, I think it's Fleetwood. Is it a Fleetwood RV? It's definitely from the Rev Group. Just released a new motorhome, and it has an office built into it. It's like in the back of one of their new motorhomes. I think this idea of working from the road is really catching on. So a campground like that has the ability to provide good, stable, fast internet makes it easier for everybody to. Hopefully that becomes the norm. I don't know how long that'll take, but I feel like campgrounds should be getting the memo that, hey, internet's important, not just for people that want to stream movies while they're on vacation, but for people that want to work too. Yeah, but we should definitely try to get maybe either a manager, or I don't think we're going to get Jimmy Buffett on the show, but maybe we can get a manager or somebody from the campground to come on the show. They might need some type of permission from corporate, I guess, to come on, but we'll have to look into that for you guys. I think the first thing that I wanted to talk about, because I'm an Escapee member, and I was excited to find out that Escapee's RV Club, they just released a new app for members. So Sabrina and I still, even though we have a home base, we still use their mailing service because we are still on the road a lot, and we can freeze our mail or have our mail get shifted over to Escapees while we're traveling and stuff like that. So we're still Escapees members. We use their roadside assistance and we use their mail service. But it was cool. I downloaded the app just to check it out. And for their very first app, it was very easy for me to use. We can look at our mail. We can change the settings on how we want it delivered. We can request scans. We can contact member service teams. I feel like that's a great direction for Escapees to go in, to use app and to become more digitalized.
Can you make reservations at their parks through the app?
I don't have that written down, so I'm going to guess no. I don't think you can make a reservation through the app. I think you still got to call their campground to make. Yeah, yeah. But you can update your account information and things like that all through the app instead of needing to call or going even just online. Just having it in the phone makes it a lot easier. Yeah, maybe that's something that we can just suggest to them, because I feel like Escapees is a friend of the show. We've had them on a few times. I think that's pretty good customer feedback. That would be nice to be able to make reservations through the app, because I don't even think you can go online and make a reservation at the Escapees campground. When Sabrina and I have stayed there, I feel like we call every time.
Okay. I've never stayed at one, so I don't know how that works.
They're nice campgrounds. We might have to get a hold of Travis, president. I'm name dropping over here, president of Escapees, and see if I think that's really good feedback. Yeah, let us book a campground through the app, because I know for Sabrina and I, it's one of the reasons why we like KOA so much, is because we can book our campground right through the app while we're on the road. We might, there's often times that we kind of find the campground and book it all within, not just that day, but while we're driving, like within 30 minutes. Sabrina would be like, all right, I think I've had enough of driving, even though she's just the passenger. She's like, I think I've had enough of driving today. Let's find a spot, pull over, and stop for the night. And she'll just open up the KOA app, puts where we're at, finds a KOA, and kind of books it right there. So
I was messing with the Flying J app while we were driving last weekend. Their app is, you can book like showers and everything on their app. Yeah, it's really their app is really good too. So I'm sure it's possible.
It's got to be possible.
Yeah. But it's good that they have an app, period, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great step in this is a step in the right direction. Having this app now and being able to control our mail right from our phone, I think will make things easier. And it's a very clean, easy to use app. I picked it up and I understood everything right away. It wasn't like, oh, let me fumble through different lists, or let me open up a menu, or it was just easy to use right from the very start of it. And then next, I think this is one of the things that Sean and I always like, because the podcast is so business oriented. There's a real estate entrepreneur. His name is Gary. We'll say W, because I have no idea how do you pronounce it?
Oh, I don't have any idea how to pronounce that.
Okay. I'll spell it though for you guys. It's WOITASZEK. So
I'm guessing it's like Wojciech or something like that, maybe.
Oh, is it as simple as that? Maybe.
I don't know.
We'll call him Gary. We'll call him Gary W. But he's a real estate entrepreneur, and he is betting that RV storage is the next big thing. And I'm always interested by these things, because I feel like this is like a behind the scenes thing. So this guy, usually in the real estate, feeling that storage is going to be a big deal. And I wonder, does he feel like so many people have bought RVs and now need a place to put them, or does he feel like the market is going to continue to grow, so he's buying RV storage places because he thinks that these people, the future people, are going to need places to store their RVs? And this was reported in the Wall Street Journal, so it's making some pretty big news that this guy is going out and buying property to convert it into RV storage. He thinks it's going to be the next big thing, period. Not the next big thing in RVing, or he just thinks this is going to be the next big thing in real estate.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and I think some of it too is that, like, almost every home that you buy now is tied to some sort of HOA, and they have all these rules against parking your RV for more than 24 hours or whatever at your house. And so, yeah, I can see that. Not only the sales of RVs have been, ridiculous over the last couple of years, but then every home that people are buying, if it has HOA requirements that you can't have your RV at your house, there's got to be somewhere to put it. RVs, boats, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I know for you and I, like when we were home shopping, we'd look for places that we could park our RVs, and it's not easy. It's not a lot of restrictions. Even sometimes, like, that you wouldn't think, like, even if you're not in an HOA, it could be like a county rule You still have to follow the rules of your area per se. Like Sabrina and I are not in an HOA, but at one time the county did not. You are now, but at one time the county did not allow RV parking, but it does now. So we got kind of lucky, even though we're not in an HOA. You still have to follow whatever those rules are. Yeah, and I think it's becoming more and more difficult to have land. I mean, you need the space, right? I mean, most of these RVs are not fitting in a garage or even in your driveway, so a lot of times they got to be out on the street. I mean, these guys, I'm reading here, based on this Wall Street Journal, that they just are planning on purchasing 10 locations in the next 6 weeks, and he is willing to spend $300 million once the current deals are in the pipeline. Like he's putting down some serious coin. I mean, he must really believe in the growth of the RV industry, that it's worth, I mean, $300 million. I mean, maybe that's not a lot to him, but I'm thinking $300 million in the next, you're going to spend $300 million in the next 6 weeks and purchasing property for RV storage. It's just, as I've read a little bit more in here, it does say he's basing it off of the previous growth. A lot of people have bought RVs. They're not living in them full time, so they need a place to put them. Just like Sean said, a lot of places, HOAs, you're not allowed to. So then the most sensible place would be a storage facility that has a little bit of security. Maybe it's monitored, it's got cameras or something like that, where you know that hopefully your catalytic converter's not being stolen.
Yeah.
Which is still a big deal. People are still losing catalytic converters.
I would guess it's a low, besides acquiring the land, it might be a low barrier to entry to start, and then improve the properties as you grow.
Yeah, because you wouldn't really per se need much of a structure, maybe a little office up front, but it wouldn't be like those storage containers or anything like that you're trying to heat or cool, right? Because it's going to be outdoors. I mean, I doubt that he's buying buildings where everything's going to be stored indoors. So you're right about that. I mean, literally, you're just buying a large parking area, and you're going to stack them in, maybe charge, I don't even know, maybe $100 a month, maybe more per vehicle. I'm sure he knows more. I'm sure. If he's got $300 million to spend on these properties, he probably knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, actually.
It probably is a really good idea. I was just really surprised by the amount that he's willing to spend up front, and for something that it doesn't sound like he's ever done before. It doesn't sound like he owns other RV storages, but he really believes that after doing his research, or after his company does the research, that this is the way to go.
Well, he did sell a property for $15 billion this year, so he's got $300 million's nothing to him.
$15 billion. Yeah, he's okay then. He can risk spending $300 million.
Yeah,
because he says that he hopes. So he's doing 10 locations in the next 6 weeks, but he's hoping to have 400 properties of RV storage. Like, that's his goal, is to expand it to 400 properties across the United States. So we wish him good luck, and I think it's great that he's going to be able to provide a service for people that maybe you already have your home and you're in an HOA, but you want an RV, but what are you going to do with it when you're not in it? Well, now this gives those people opportunities that wouldn't normally have been able to purchase an RV because there was no place to put it.
Right.
Now they might have a place to put it, which is great.
Yeah, normally, a couple of the RV parks around where I live, they also have storage, but it's every time you look there, it's full.
It's always full.
Yeah.
So that might be another sign of that we need more RV storage, I guess, because the ones that do offer it, you're right. We have been to campgrounds that offer storage, and they are full. And I don't know, not to knock any of them, I don't know what type of security. I don't think I've ever seen cameras or anything like that when you're just in a campground storage facility. Like, they're usually just an area off to the side, and you can park your RVs there. I mean, I guess the campground itself has security going around it, so I guess it would be safe that way. and I guess campgrounds are now getting more and more cameras too, but I just can't remember a campground RV storage area having cameras actually pointing towards where the RVs are being stored.
I never paid attention, actually.
Yeah, and every location I'm sure is going to be different. And to the counterpart, I don't know if this guy's planning on putting cameras, but I feel like anybody that owns property nowadays, I have cameras at my house. You have cameras at your house. I feel like anybody that buys property nowadays, automatically, like one of the first things you do is cameras.
Yeah, I'm up to 6 cameras at my house. So
I only have 2, so you are way ahead of me. But we have a lot of sensors. We have motion sensors to go along with those. We got the brake glass sensors, and
oh yeah.
Something else that I found was exciting is that Spartan is releasing a new RV chassis, and it's going to debut on the Integra coach, which is Integra. Is that Newmar?
No, Integra is their own brand.
Integra's their own?
Yeah.
Maybe Newmar makes a coach that has a similar name.
Integra has like the Anthem.
Ah, okay. You would think I would know that, Sean.
So I'm guessing this is a diesel chassis.
It is. Yep. It's going to be a diesel pusher. Some of the things about it is it's going to have a whole new redesigned independent front suspension. And what they're saying is with the suspension that not only are you going to get extra agility and maneuverability, but it's going to improve your bump absorption. It's going to be, so it's a win-win, I guess, in the sense that it's going to be more comfortable, but at the same time improving agility and maneuverability. And from talking to, like Robert Henderson not too long ago, where he was talking about maneuvering and the ability to quickly change lanes becomes a safety thing. So I kind of look at this as this improved front end being able to offer a lot of benefits, not just in comfort, but safety-wise as well, just to be able to maneuver the coach a little bit better than before.
Yeah, and a 55-degree wheel cut. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's really sharp.
Yeah.
I'm always impressed.
People don't realize how sharp that is. That's tight turning with a diesel.
Yeah, it's really tight turning. I'm always impressed whenever I see a diesel pusher, because the diesel pushers, people might not know this, diesel pusher always has a better turning degree than a Class A gas coach would have. Even a longer diesel pusher will make a better turn than a shorter gas coach. I'm always impressed whenever I see these diesel pushers making like a U-turn or something like that.
I mean, you could probably, at 55 degrees, you could see the inside of the wheel if you were standing next to it, I bet.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should be able to. Yeah. I would say so. Yeah. Yeah, they say that this new like independent front suspension that they're putting in is going to give you more of an automotive feel. I still would say, I mean, I haven't driven this thing yet, but I would also like to point out you're still driving like a 23,000 pound vehicle.
Yeah.
Maybe more of an automotive feel, but I don't know if you should really even throw the word auto. I doubt that it's going to feel like you're driving a car.
And the motor's in the back.
Motors in the back. Yeah. You're sitting, 10 feet off the ground in your seat.
It won't be like driving a Prius, that's for sure.
That's for sure. Yeah, yeah.
I bet it rides better than my Chevy 3500, though.
I don't know. I mean, your truck is huge, but I still feel like weight proportion. Like, I bet you, just being able to go around corners and stuff. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't driven this new Spartan chassis. I've actually never driven any of the Spartan chassis. I've only driven in the Cummins and the Freightliner. So I don't know. I don't think I've ever driven a Spartan one. But I would still say I bet you your truck. Well, maybe not, Sean. I don't know. I'm going to give your truck the credit, although your truck is from 2013.
And it sounds like 2014. And it sounds like they're beefing up the chassis too to make it tougher.
Yeah, they're making a lot of improvements on this chassis. It's nice that it's more of a redesign, like really like a true upgrade. It's not just the front end that they're doing. Yep, like Sean said, they're doing the chassis. They're really thinking about safety for the drivers. Not only, so I did like this part of it too. Like Spartan said that not only did they have their engineers drive and test, but they brought like long-term RV owners in while doing the testing and had them drive it. So people like you and I, to get their impression of the drivability of the vehicle before it went to, before it hit the market. So they were using like true RVers as test pilots for this. They didn't just rely on their engineers. And I thought that was really nice to hear, that they wanted to get the consumer feedback before it went to the consumer, in a sense. I thought that was a really good idea, and I was really glad to hear about that. I think that's a great thing that Spartan's doing. And I'm going to say it again, that maybe we should have Spartan on the show. I'm sure we could get Spartan on and talk about just this chassis, about everything that it takes to fully redesign a chassis that I'm sure, one, it's not a gamble per se, but it probably costs a lot of money and research and development, and then they actually get it into production. And whenever you have something new, usually, maybe not always, but usually you have recalls and things like that. So it's probably, I guess the payoff is to be more competitive, so that maybe somebody says, all right, well, instead of this Freightliner, have you checked out the new Spartan? And then you go to dealers and say to Winnebago, hey, maybe you shouldn't be using Freightliner, maybe you should be using Spartan. Maybe they go to Newmar and tell them the same thing. So I guess they're being competitive in their group, but I still feel like gamble's not the right word, but Spartan's got a really good reputation already. And I always use the term, don't fix what's not broken. But I guess they must have really saw an opportunity to make some advancements, like truly improve a ride or safety and things like that. So I think it'd be great to have them on and talk about like the reasons of why an upgrade, why now type of things, because I don't think it's often that chassis manufacturers make these big changes or adjustments. Like the Class A gas, the F53, was the same chassis motor configuration for 20 years before Ford went and said, all right, let's do an upgrade. And then they just came out with the new F53 chassis like 2 years ago. But they hold on to these things for a long time before they decide to upgrade them.
Kenny, speaking of people like us, we forgot to mention at the top of the episode about the podcast awards.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how I missed that. Yeah. But people like us. I like that little segue though, Sean. It's almost like you planned it. But yeah, we are in the top 10 for the leisure category for the People's Choice Podcast Award. And we wanted to thank all you guys. We wanted to thank our listeners, because the only reason why we made it to the top 10 is because you guys went and voted for us, that we had enough. Yeah. I think that's, super humbled by the fact that you guys cared enough to go to the website. It's not easy. I always say it's not easy to get people to break their routines or habits, but, to ask people to go to, even though it's all digital and you just go into a website, still, they had to go to the website, they had to create an account, and they had to find us in the list and actually vote for us. So we just, bottom of our hearts, like really sincerely, thank you for voting for us and getting us into the top 10. Once we're selected as the winners, I'm going to be very bold and say, once we're selected to be the winner, we will let you guys know. Or if we don't win, we'll still let you know about the progress of it. I believe we should be knowing by the end of September. We should know if we won or not.
Is it end of September? I thought it might be the beginning of October. I can't remember. I think it's October 7th for some reason.
You would know, Sean. I mean, you're going to pick an exact day.
For some reason, like that date is in my head. Maybe I have a doctor's appointment. I don't know. But
I thought that was awesome when we got the message that we were in the final. So now what happens is, so the voting from the general public is done, but then what the People's Podcast Award does is they'll take 20,000 people now to do the final voting. And what they would like people to do is, the people that are chosen, the 20,000 that are chosen, review all the podcasts in each category and then choose who you feel should win in per category. So these 20,000 people have a little bit of research to do, and I hope they take it seriously and vote for us. I hope they make the right choice. It's really exciting, though.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, like Kenny said, so thankful to all of the people that listen for taking the time to vote for us.
Yeah, we certainly appreciate it. I think this is one of those things that could be like a win-win. If we win, we get noticed a little bit more, which gets us possibly more guests, which in turn gives the listener just more content to listen to, but maybe guests that we wouldn't have normally have gotten in the past. So I think it's a win-win. So hopefully we win and you guys win. So I think we talked a good amount about that Spartan, but they, not only did they do the chassis, the front, but they're also, so I thought they did something to the rear as well, but I guess it's just the chassis, overall beefing up the chassis that helps stabilize the motorhome. I thought they did something to the suspension in the rear as well, but it doesn't look like it. Chassis torsion control system. Okay, so they did. So they're improving on a torsion control system, which reduces the stress on the chassis frame. Yeah, it's a pretty big upgrade then.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just like a little bit. And then our next topic I found interesting because we hear about companies buying companies like all the time. Recently, I feel like more and more. And there was an article I read that said that Lazy Days just declined a takeover. Like somebody sought them out, wanted to buy them, and Lazy Days was like, "No, we're good. We appreciate you being interested in us, but we don't want to sell. We're keeping our company, I guess." But it kind of, I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I've ever heard of companies declining." So I thought it was kind of neat that somebody wanted to buy Lazy Days, and they said, "Nah, we're good." And I think it's because I guess if the price was right, they would have, but they felt the company that was buying them undervalued them. I think they just weren't offering them the amount that they felt the company was worth. But I don't think it was like, from my understanding, from what I was reading in the articles, it wasn't like Lazy Days was trying to be bought or trying to sell. It's just the company approached them and said, "Hey, we're interested in your company. We think you guys have some value that we would like to take."
Yeah, they looks like they valued them at like 212 million.
Yeah.
Lazy Days said no, thank you.
Yeah. I didn't know that Lazy Days was a publicly shared company, but it said in March they were valued at like $17.69 a share, or $17.69 a share. I guess when you buy a company, that's kind of what they're basing it off of. Last Friday closed at $21 a share. So Lazy Days is probably looking at the fact, well, we're not hurting, we're growing, and our share is going up. So maybe now's not the time for us to be selling the company.
Think the company that wanted to buy them offered them like $25 a share for the company. So they would have made some money, but yeah, it looks like they got big things in the works. So
yeah, you're right. $25 a share. So they were offering them more than what they were. But if you're showing growth, maybe, if you went from 18 to 21 in about 4 months, what's to say you want to go to 26 in another 4 months? Who knows? I don't know. Yeah, but even the Lazy Days board of directors, they said they appreciated the interest, but they just, after careful review, they feel that the right thing to do is to turn down the offer, and they just felt that they were undervaluing the company, and it's just not in the best interest of the shareholders to take a buyout at this time.
Yeah, see, I see the RV industry now pulling back a little bit. So, of course, I'm not in the know like these big executives are, but just what I read and what I see, I think we're going to see a pullback a little bit in the RV industry. So we'll see. We'll see if it was a good move or not.
Yeah. I'm curious about that too, Sean, because I agree with you. I'm in the same boat with you, and I keep on reading these articles that seem to be against what I think, but I feel like the RV industry has been on such a high for the last, not just the last 2 years, but for the last almost 4 years, 5 years, that to me, I feel like it can only go down, But then there's other companies out there that's saying that because of the pandemic and because of all this extra interest in RVing in the industry, that this is now our new bottom floor. Like where we're at now is the new level. And it's not going to go down because this is it now. So, yeah, it's going to be. I'm very curious to see what happens within the next couple of years. And it's funny because it's kind of funny about that Lazy Days turning down, because right after I read that article, like another day later, I saw that Lazy Days like reported their income and the revenue was up. Let me see if I can find the exact numbers. 30, yeah. So they are up $6.5 million in this quarter compared to 2021 quarter. So they made $6.5 million more this year than last year, which just, to me, I'm surprised. I just feel like, and then that's probably another reason why Lazy Days was like, oh, you're undervaluing our company at $25 a share. We're going to make that $25 a share. We're going to hit that. We're going to pass that, whatever that may be. And we're going to continue to grow. I mean, Lazy Days does more than just deals. So Lazy Days has campgrounds and they're also dealers. They might even be involved in more than just that.
And they have great stores. You know,
they have stores too.
They have stores. They have campgrounds. They have sales. They have service. I think they even have rentals.
They do have rentals. Yeah, you're right. So they have a pretty good what would that term be? Foothold in the industry. I think Lazy Days the one that's like the official Airstream store? Is that where you can buy Airstream parts?
That is one of the places. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have strong ties with big name companies. I think Lazy Days probably made a good choice in holding fast. I mean, they do service. They have service departments, so you can get work done to your rigs. Yeah, I think maybe that alone, just service alone right now, which is still like everybody is backed up, back ordered. They can't get enough RVs in to serve. Yeah, they're probably making the right choice.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Another news article that I found interesting, and I think everybody will, is the Coleman Mach introduces a smart control center. Coleman, who's owned by Ericsel brand, it debuted a new smart control center that seamlessly connects to a Mach air conditioner. So when I first opened up the article, I was like, oh, it's a new thermostat, but it's not. So this is a new control board that goes in your AC unit that allows you to use it with home thermostats. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I really thought it was just going to be a new thermostat, but they're actually upgrading the control board that's in the AC unit. Then you can go out and purchase whatever type of smart thermostat you want. One of the benefits of that, I thought of Sean right away, is that you'll be able to use Alexa or Google Assistant because some of these home thermostats are available.
It opens it up to a lot of, because right now, I think Micro Air is probably the only smart thermostat that we have.
Yeah, I think it is. And I do like the Micro Air. I love the Micro Air. I have it in my RV. We use it all the time. I think it was a huge upgrade and a great way to update our coach. I do think that this will, as much as I like Micro Air, I think this will hurt them in the long run. Because I feel like, all right, not everybody right now is comfortable maybe going up on the roof, pulling off their AC cover, pulling a board, and putting this new board in. But I would imagine that's what they're doing for now. But by next year, the new AC units will just come with this new board in there. I can't see them. I feel like this is a temporary fix, but their long-term goal would be just that, hey, our AC units can now be used with any thermostat, modern, smart thermostat that you would use at home.
Yeah, and it's nice to not have to learn a whole nother system. If you have a Nest in your house, throw it in your RV, you know how to use it all already, and good to go.
Yeah, there's no learning curve or something like that. So I really feel like Coleman will just make this the standard in their future AC builds. I think this will probably just be the way that they go with it. I couldn't see why they wouldn't just start including this in all their new builds. And they said that this was actually something that they came up with based on listening to from the consumer, which is always nice to hear that like these decisions are made after doing consumer research and listening to the consumer. You do more than just listen to them. You actually make these changes. So I was happy to hear that too. The feedback from the consumer was that they just wanted more convenience and control from a residential style smart thermostat, just like you would have in your home. I think this kind of competes directly with that micro air. Like right now, I could go on my phone and I could tell you what the temperature was in my RV from my phone. And if I wanted to, if my RV, for me, my RV's got to be plugged in, but if my RV was plugged in, I would even be able to turn the AC unit on right now, all from my phone. If you got pets, I think that's a great thing. But not only that, it allows me to do scheduling that I couldn't do previously. For bedtime, I like the temperature colder at night. When I wake up, though, I can set it so that it starts to warm up maybe an hour before I normally wake up. I don't use that function too much, but I could see that being an advantage for some people. I'm more like I'm laying in bed and I wake up. I'm like, all right, well, let me turn the AC off or let me turn up the temperature a little bit because I don't wake up at the same time every day. But you'll have those same abilities now with this Coleman board swap. Can you control? I know you're big on the Google control. Can you control your thermostat at home?
Not my current thermostat, no.
Okay. But I know you can control lights and things like that. So I thought you'd be really interested in this.
Yeah, I have to get the smart thermostat for my home still. I really wanted all the security upgrades first.
Okay.
So I focused on that when we first got the house and now I'm ready to get the thermostat. In fact, I've been looking at them trying to decide which one I want.
Okay. And I think something like this makes more sense. Maybe I'm not looking at it right, but I think something like this makes more sense in the RV than it does even in your home because your RV is moving to different climates all the time. Temperatures change very quickly while you're on the move, whereas your home, you kind of know, wintertime, we're going to be running heat. Summertime, you're running AC, and it's kind of consistent, year after year. But in our RV, we could be anywhere at any time type of thing. So I think the ability to change things a little quicker in the RV and be more connected makes more sense. I don't know. Maybe we're lazy. Maybe it's not a big deal to get up and actually adjust the thermostat. But I'm telling you, it's one of the best things. I say this about a lot of stuff I buy, but I love that micro air thermostat just for ease of use on my phone. Like if we're watching TV and I want to lower the AC so that the AC is not turning on as often, I just do it for my phone. And I know micro air says, you're not lazy, you're just making things simpler or easier, I think is so we're just making things easier for you. We're not making you lazier. I think the fact that Coleman's now looking into it too, I think that's pretty cool. Who is the other large AC manufacturer? You can either have Dometic.
Dometic, yeah.
I wonder, maybe somebody listening knows or not. Is Dometic doing something similar? Can you get smart thermostats connected to a Dometic AC unit right now? I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I like that. I like this. I like that this is going to be an option.
Yeah. Again, I think it's a step in the right direction. Getting RVs. I mean, how long have we had smart thermostats in a house for?
Yeah, a long time.
Long time. And RVs are just now getting it in the RV. And I think what RV manufacturers, I think what these suppliers are finding out is that like people want the same comforts that they can have at home in their RV. I don't know why it's taken them so long to figure this out, but I think somebody wrote to Sabrina and I not too long ago and said, I'm sure that you guys enjoy your RV and the campground, but to me, that's not camping. Maybe there has been a mindset in the past that if you're not comfortable, you're not, maybe you have to be uncomfortable to be camping. I'm not really sure, but I do agree with this person. I even wrote back.
Yeah, I don't think of it as camping at all.
No, I do think of camping as in a tent or in a sleeping bag. I don't think as RVing as camping, but I think there's still this connection though. I think some people do. I think the corporations, I think the industry does consider RVing camping. I think they do consider it the same thing. And I agree. I've never considered what Sabrina and I do camping. I've never told people that we're going camping. We're going RVing. And I think it's totally different. And I think people that RV and enjoy RVing do want some of the comforts from home in their rigs, and modern tech from their home in the rig. I mean, you're talking smart thermostats 10, 15 years ago were in the house. So, I mean, it's a pretty long delay. There's a lag, big time lag. So it's cool that Coleman's doing it. I wish they would have just started a little sooner. And then that was everything that's everything that we kind of had laid out for this episode. We do have some upcoming guests that we're excited to have on, because these are 2 new guests that have never been on the show before. And there are also these two guests we found from the Overland show from Overland West back in the day. What's that?
You found them.
Well, I say we found them. One is Truck House and one is Lava Linens. And the Truck House episode that you're going to hear is interesting because we actually recorded and filmed this the same day that we were at Battleborn. That's how far in advance some of these episodes come out, to give you a little peek behind the curtain here. So the same day that we recorded our 100th episode with Battleborn Batteries, Truck House is not too far from Battleborn Batteries. So they came down to that studio and recorded it. And Truck House is unique in the sense that they are taking Toyota Tacomas and totally beefing up this vehicle, where it's not even a Toyota Tacoma anymore. It's more like a quarter ton, I guess, when they're done with it. I'm not even sure what size
like
truck.
A 1 ton.
1 ton truck? Okay. Yeah. So, and then they seamlessly build a camper on the back of it. And I saw this at Overland, and it just stood out. It just looked it looked like it came from Toyota. The way they marry the truck and this camper all seamlessly, all one piece. I went over to them, I started talking to them, and I didn't know that they were right down the street from Battleborn. Just, that was just a happy accident, I guess. But 2 young guys, very creative, very big on risk taking, because as you'll hear in the episode, that some of the money that they put out, shelled out, and interesting story of how it got started. I think that's a really good episode.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. And before we go, Kenny, I just want to make one public service announcement. I've been reading, it seems like in the news the last couple of weeks, the number of RV fires has increased tremendously, it seems like, in the news. And people don't have fire extinguishers or know how to use them or check them or anything like that. We actually did an episode on fire extinguishers. Please make sure you have adequate fire extinguishers in your RV, because we don't want anybody to die when it could have been preventable.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sean. It does seem like it's happening more often, and I don't know if it's a summertime thing. Things are drier maybe in the summer. I don't know, but propane doesn't care. Usually about climate and stuff like that.
A lot of fires.
Yeah, a lot of fires, and probably preventable. I would say, the best way to fight the fire is not to have it start. So, yeah, I think just be mindful of what you're doing. And not just in the RV, but a lot of times outside of the RV. I see a lot of times at campgrounds or boondocking areas where people have a campfire even, and they don't go out with the water and really extinguish it. You can see the smoke from that fire from the previous night. I think it's really important to be diligent, to be aware of your surroundings type of thing, and making sure that you're doing everything that you can possibly do to stay safe and keep other people safe. That kind of, but let me talk about fire. Lava Linens is coming up in the show too. Maybe another good segue into that. Lava Linens is another company that we found from Overland. What I liked about the company was that a lot of times you just look at a product and you're like, oh, well, this is kind of simple. Probably not a lot goes into this. And then I was looking at their linens, and I would call them towels, and I just started chatting with the owner of the company, and I was like, you know what? Apparently there's a lot of thought that goes into a towel, not just materials, but design, patterns, where it's made, how it's made. That was an episode that surprised me of just how much information was in there, and just how how a towel can even be good for the environment, keeping away from microplastics and things like that. So I think that's another really good episode, and I'm really happy that we have these two new companies. They're both very young companies coming on the show and chatting with them, and I'm excited to share them with our listeners.
Yeah, both those interviews were really good in getting like the insight into the complications of something that we think is so simple.
Yeah, so both those episodes will be out for September.
All right, well, I think that's it, Kenny.
I think that is, Sean. Yeah, I feel like I have talked enough for the both of us.
Well, thanks everyone for listening, and again, thank you so much for taking the time to vote for us for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. We'll try and keep bringing you great content.
Thanks, everybody.
This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety, so go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.